This is part 2 of a Demons versus Lizardmen Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. I'm Don Zico, and I'm going to hop in on turn 2 for Demons. So, on to Demons turn 2. I'm going to declare several charges. The first one is going to be my Flesh Hounds charging his Skink cohort, and the standard shoot is going to kill all but one of them. So, this one Flesh Hound makes it into combat, but it's not looking good. Now, the next series of charges is a little complicated, so let me try and explain because the pictures are spotty. Basically, what I wanted to do was to charge his Temple Guard with my Bloodletters and my Bloodthirster. Now, the Bloodletters, it was just a matter of getting the distance, but with the Bloodthirster, it was a bit of a problem because he could see the Temple Guard, and he had the move to get to them unless he had a really bad roll, but at first he didn't have a legal spot to land that would be in combat with them and not in contact with his unit of Saurus warriors. So, and please, if anybody thinks that I did this wrong, send me a message or something. I declared charges with my Bloodletters against his Temple Guard, then with my Demonettes against his other Saurus block, and then with my Bloodthirster against his Temple Guard. So what happened was my Bloodletters charged in and ranked right up against his Temple Guard to maximize contact. And then the Demonettes, I think the way we did this was right. They aligned to the Saurus, but then in order to maximize, we ordinarily would have moved the Demonettes to maximize models and base contact, but they couldn't move without getting, because the Bloodletters were in the way. So we moved the Saurus a little bit to maximize models and base contact. And that had the effect of creating a larger space so that when the Bloodthirster charged in, there was room for him to land in contact with the Temple Guard. Now, in my magic phase, I don't get a whole lot of dice, but I do manage to cast Flickering Fire on his Salamanders. I think I got Irresistible Force, or maybe he just had a bad Dispel roll, but it gets through, and I rolled very well on the number of hits and everything, and so I was actually able to wipe out that unit. And that's going to be it for my shooting and magic. So, on to close combat. To start, my Seekers are going to, again, beat the Salamanders by, I think, 1, but this time the Salamanders fail their break check, and they get a really good flee roll, so they make it out, but they're still broken and set up to be charged next turn or something. And then in close combat, let's see, first my Demonettes are going to get the snot beaten out of them by some Saurus warriors. The Saurus warriors have Flesh to Stone on them, so I need 6s to hit, and the Demonettes just can't hack it, even with 3 rolls to hit. They're going to kill like 2 Saurus warriors, maybe, and the Scarvet in the unit is going to kill my Herald in a challenge. And then in the main event, my Bloodletters and Bloodthirster are going to kill just a ridiculous amount of Temple Guards, something like 15 of them, I don't know, a whole lot. Although they will not break, which is normal. And then my Flesh Hound I think he's going to kill 1 or 2 skinks, and pretty much he just stays put. But his days are numbered since they get, I think, 2 or 3 static combat resolution against him. So this is the board at the start of Lizardmen turn 3. He doesn't have any charges, so let's see. First, his Salamanders are going to fail to rally, and they'll flee off the board. So yeah, congratulations, Seekers. Then his Chameleon Skinks are going to move around to keep shooting at my Horrors and hopefully finish them off. And his remaining unit of Saurus Warriors and his Stegodon are going to turn so that they can charge in to rescue his Temple Guard if they can hold out until his next turn. So I don't have the specifics down, but the key point from his magic phase was that I managed to stop him from casting Flesh to Stone, and I think I stopped Regrowth as well. So again, this is where the situation I want, where his Temple Guard are in combat against nasty things, and they don't have magical buffs. But in his shooting, he's going to reduce my Horrors to 1 Horror and my Herald, so that's bad. And that'll be it for shooting. In close combat, his Skinks are going to finish off my Flesh Hound. His Saurus warriors are going to keep beating down my demonettes, so there are only, I think, 7 of them left. And I'm going to kill all of his temple guard. That'll leave just a Scar Veteran and the Slaane's Mage Priest. And the Slaane's Mage Priest is going to have a few wounds on his profile. But amazingly, they get insane courage. So they don't break, they don't run down, and I do not get to pursue a way to try and get out of the charge arcs of these Saurus Warriors or Temple Guard. So going into Demons turn 3, I'm running out of units. By now I've got, I think, 3 Demonettes left in combat with Saurus Warriors. I've got 1 Horror and my Herald, and then I have my Bloodletters and my Herald and my Bloodthirster, and I think 2 Seekers left. So I essentially have 3 units on the field, my Bloodthirster, my Bloodletters, and my Seekers, that aren't in immediate danger of being finished off by Lizardmen that they've been losing to for the past turn or so. And that does also means that I don't really have any movement, nor do I have any magic. But going into close combat, my Demonettes are going to keep getting beaten down, but they're not quite going to get wiped out yet. And my Bloodthirster and my Bloodletters are going to finish off his Slaane's Mage Priest and his Scar Veteran. But unfortunately that means there's no one there to run, so they're stuck there waiting to get countercharged in Lizardman turn 4. So on to Lizardman turn 4. Here's the board at the beginning of his turn. He's going to charge my Bloodletters in the flank with a big block of Saurus Warriors. This is bad. He's also going to charge my Bloodthirster in the rear with a Ancient Stegodon. Then he doesn't have any magic because his Slaan's dead, but his Skinks are going to finish off my Horrors and my Herald. And then going into close combat, turns out even with impact hits, an Ancient Stegodon just can't handle a Bloodthirster. I think he puts 1 wound on me, and I put 3 wounds on him with a pretty subpar roll. His Saurus are going to drop the Demonettes down to just 1 model, and they're also his other unit of Saurus is going to kill several Bloodletters, but that combat will continue. So by my turn 4, my only units that aren't in close combat are my Seekers, who are down to 2 models and don't really have anything to do but run and hide. And I have no magic or shooting, so it's a pretty simple turn. Essentially, my Bloodletters are going to keep fighting his Saurus. I'm taking a lot of casualties and not really doing enough in return. And my Bloodthirster is going to finish off his Stegodon, while his other Saurus block finish off my Demonettes. Then on Lizardman turn 5, he's going to charge his second Saurus block into the rear of my Bloodletters. His Chameleon Skinks are going to run off after my Seekers, trying to catch them, but they're not fast enough to do so by the end of the game. So in close combat, the Saurus are going to do a number of my Bloodletters, such that I'm down to, I think, my Herald and 2 others. All I'm going to do in my turn 5 is maneuver my Bloodthirster to try and charge in and help my Bloodletters, and watch as the unit gets reduced to just the Herald. And then on Lizardman turn 6, those Saurus are going to kill the Herald, and nothing much else is going to happen. And on my turn 6, my Bloodthirster is going to charge in on one of those Saurus blocks and kill a lot of them, but not enough to break them. So that's the game. At the end, the Demons have a Bloodthirster and 2 Seekers left, while the Lizardmen have 2 units of Saurus, 2 units of Chameleon Skinks, and a Skink cohort, which comes out to be a draw. So, you know, I was reasonably satisfied with this game. I had some tough breaks on the left flank. I feel like if I'd gotten first turn, then my Seekers and Flamers would have been in a much better position to deal with the Lizardmen light stuff and keep my Horrors alive. But still, the strategy of going after the Slaane's worked pretty well. The Temple Guard, they're tough, but they're not invincible, and this and my previous game really underscore that, much like Heavy Cavalry, the rumors of the demise of big monsters in 8th edition are much exaggerated. Even though you can't break a unit on the first turn the way you used to be able to, just Thunder Stomp is really, really devastating, and so especially with a Bloodthirster that's getting D6 Strength 7 auto hits. So, yeah, I think these are good learning experiences, but getting ready for tournament play, and I may get around to bringing a dragon back into my Dark Elf list before too long. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it, and with any luck, I'll have another battle report of a 5,000 point invasion game up in the next day or two.